Welcome to the RKKR Horror Book Club. My name is Rob Lamontang. That's Caitlin. BTK has yet to return my letters. Gets.
That's really good.
Oh man, this book has been a blast. I'm gonna say that right out of the gate.
Yeah, what are we reading? Or what did we read this month, Rob?
We read Letters to the Purple Satin Killer by Joshua Chaplinsky. That one, great cover.
Mhm.
Absolutely amazing. Has that classic look to it, with the folded cover
Yeah, I
book.
wanna I wanna talk about that because we never judge the cover of a book, and I think that we should. But I have some opinions about this now after reading it, so
Really? I thought we explicitly said that we do judge books by their covers.
I know, but we've never talked about it on our show. You know what I mean? Like, we should have, like, a little 2 minutes to be like, "Cover, good or not good?"
Well, what did you think of the cover?
After reading the book, it doesn't really make sense, but I'm also like, is it just crazy so the book is based in early 2000s, and so, like, why does this look like a really sick '80s cover? So, like, 40 years
Ye-
old. Like, is 20 years old really this old looking? That's so what? I don't get early 2000 murder vibes from this, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
I don't either.
So, why then, is my question. Really cool cover, only reason why we bought the book.
Well, actually, you know what? My lovely wife Megan had informed me. She's like, "You better shout me out on that because it was her who picked it out, who actually
Yeah,
saw it and said you guys should take a look at this."
yeah. So she
Will
totally
she watch this episode? That's the real mystery.
Alright, talk about this book. This was technically your pick. Why did you wanna read it?
Technically, yeah, technically my pick. The book is a it's told from the perspective of people that write into a serial killer who has been caught. And you never get to hear a response from him, but you get endless letters coming in to him. He has been caught. He goes to court during the whole book and then right up to the execution of him in Indiana, where it is legal to do something like that. And that's pretty much it. When I say this is a one-sided conversation, it 100% is. There's very few moments in the book where you somewhat hear his voice, but not like it's not technically his voice.
Mhm, mhm.
But
Yeah.
his murders that he committed, is he would do brutal things to his victims. We can't even talk about it on here because it's way too graphic. But he would always leave his calling card of a piece of purple satin cloth somewhere on their body or in it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, ugh,
Yeah.
yeah. So what did you think?
I absolutely loved this book. I thought that uh, it was a great way to have a story. It kept me wanting to read everybody's letters to keep building that world. I thought it was really well done with the characters. Each one that he had, written to write into what is his name again? Josh or no, Jonas Williker,
Yeah.
who is heavily influenced off of Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
But in here in this world, Ted Bundy is real, but there's so much taken from Ted Bundy. But I I loved this book. I absolutely loved it. It was
Yeah.
great.
It was really hard to read. Like, this is a super disturbing book, and the content is so graphic and really awful,
Hmm.
but it was a good like you said, it was a good read. I do have one thing though, and that is I found the letters from his mother a little cringy. It's just kind of like cliche. They're cliche ideas. I just didn't get anything from them. I thought it was like literally every time I saw Judith Whittaker and the letter say, "Hello, this is your mother," I was like, "Oh my God, okay, burn through this letter." Just didn't care about them.
Really, and I thought they were like great. For me, I loved everybody else was so serious about how they wrote to him and believed wholeheartedly his crimes and everything, but they would still treat him, with like the officer, like the detective or whatever would like be like, friendly with him, like on a friendly demeanor, but totally aware of his like crimes and totally accepted them. Whereas I liked the world building that she would give you from her perspective of being completely naive. And I will counter your argument about like I just don't believe that like that would happen. Like it has happened though, with
Mhm.
like plenty of like victims that because she's a victim of him too, right? Of
Mhm.
everything that he's done. There's so many victims when it comes to like a serial killer, but
Mhm.
you don't want your own son or daughter or anybody in your family to actually be the monster that they are. I imagine she did, part of her was like, yeah, he did this stuff. And you see it develop throughout the book, right? She finally comes to accept it near the end. But she seemed like just the most naive person on the planet, getting duped about the podcast, getting duped by her son, you know,
That was really sad, but and I hear you, and I know that there has to be a character like that, and of course, the mother should be that character, that's great. It's the way that her letters are written and the context of the letters that are saying, like, "Gee, remember when, like, your cousin went missing? And then we
couldn't
found
get
that jacket? Anyway, love you, sweetie." Weird. It was just weird, but the rest of the letters were awesome. This was such an interesting take on society and how we look at true crime, and, like, you and I, like, we talk about this monthly because we love like, horror and, like, true crime stuff, and here we
yeah,
are.
I fell into the true crime hole
Yeah.
like a long time ago, and I just kind of got out of it because it does it turn into like a well of despair and sadness over time. You kind of become too much into it, and but this was a great to just make it a little bit more fun and see the other side of it, right? I really I really thought that there were some characters in this book that I could not think of them as being anyone else but these other characters that I've seen. So his parents, for one, to me, I couldn't get the idea out of my mind that his parents looked like Ace Ventura's, or not Ace Ventura's, but who was the guy? Finkel, Ray Finkel's parents from Ace Ventura. Like the old lady that like, laces out, like and like the dad putting the shotgun through the door. I was like, "Oh man, that's his parents for sure," you know?
My god, yes! I never
Yeah,
thought about that, but I see it now.
completely naive, like that was like, yeah, you would like she takes Ace up into the room and it's just like psychotic stuff over the walls and she's like, "Yeah, I know, eh? Like I see this." That right there I was like, "This is awesome. That's who she is." Uh
Totally.
Yeah. Ginny Goodwinch, all I could think was baby reindeer the entire time,
Yes. Yeah,
you know? Martha,
100%.
that's what I got out of that.
Yeah, I didn't put any faces to these people, but now honestly, what you're saying, that's them.
Yeah.
That's
If you want
crazy.
a crazy story, go watch Baby Reindeer. I mean, it's
I
blown up.
love it.
Yeah,
Such a
I
good
couldn't stop
show.
watching that. That's hey, yeah, hey, that's a RKKR Netflix show. That's what we're gonna start after this. So I do have some notes here. I had never heard this term before, but Ginny Goodwinch was a hybristophile. Hybristophile.
Mhm.
Have you ever
Yeah.
heard that?
No, what is that?
No, that's somebody that just is exactly what she was in the book. Just loves people who've committed like crazy crimes or whatever. Like I'm not getting the term right 100%, but it's people who become fans of serial killers or big crime people, people that have like gone to jail for like, you know, crazy crimes. They are like fans and they just either believe that they're 100% innocent or they don't care that they are guilty. They just see them and I love them and I could marry them or be their best friend or whatever,
Mhm.
which um, happens all the time,
Yeah.
all the time.
Wild. Yeah.
The character of that, oh, what was her name? That she ended up, Candace. Bennington, is that what her name was?
I don't
Ends up
remember her last
marrying.
name. Yes, Candace, yes.
Yeah, you probably know this, that she met Jonas Williker in jail. And that scene where she's talking about, I can't believe you proposed to me and married me at trial, is based off reality. Ted Bundy did the exact same thing. He even represented himself in court. He knew some obscure law that allowed him to just basically marry somebody. So that, I'll give that a little bit of a negative in here, but I was like, okay, I understand like taking like a little bit from somebody, but you already referenced Ted Bundy being real at the beginning of this book. There's been like they even talk about Ted Bundy's execution in the book. Why would you like is Jonas a copycat killer of Ted Bundy too? Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
actually maybe thinking about it, maybe he was.
Well, but I mean, he didn't do well, I mean, I don't know. Ted
Because there was
Bundy
another
didn't
copycat killer
right
running
after.
around during this whole time too, right?
Yeah. And didn't Ted Bundy also, like, in this book say that he found God in prison and then was trying
That's
to be
right, he
very
did.
helpful with the FBI so he wouldn't get executed? Because
Yeah.
yeah, I know, I kinda felt the same thing where I was just like, "Well, I feel like you're just taking this entire story of Ted
Yeah.
Bundy's," and but the only thing that I will say is that I really enjoyed not reading anything from the murderer and not
I love that.
idolizing him at all or
That's right.
giving him any space, but giving, yeah, the people that either love him, hate him, are confused, are old victims, people who are traumatized by him, like, I love giving them voices, and
Mhm.
reading, like, it was just a really good mix. Really hard to read though, like, truly, like, when I was reading the letters from his ex-girlfriend and the daughter that she had,
Oh, that was rough. That was
dude,
really
that
rough.
was rough, like, to the point where I was like, "I don't think I feel comfortable reading this anymore." Like, it
Really?
feels yeah, I felt it felt wrong to be reading it, so I think, like, honestly, there's like, if you wanna read this, read it, but, trigger warning on all levels that there's, like, awful things in this book. Like, it's not for everyone. If you don't like violence, like, do not read it, but
I would say if you are into true crime, this is an absolute must read. Like 100%. That's for me. I love the gory details. This was easy to take in from all of the other shit that I've taken in from like watching true crime stuff. This was easy because it wasn't real. So
yes.
it's horrifying, but it's okay at the end of the night I know that it's not real. None of these people have really existed. I did not like that it was too close to Ted Bundy, but I did find it so fascinating because it felt like there was so many subplots in this. At one point, I was
Mhm.
even like, does Jonas have powers or mystical powers? Like I almost thought he was gonna like get out or resurrect because there was certain letters that there was one that somebody wrote and like there was a editor's note like they're like we have no idea how he even got this letter into in prison, like it's just like I can't remember what it was. You people who are going to read this hopefully after our suggestion, leave a note in the or a comment on the video for that particular letter. I swear to god there was one that I was like, what, like does he have powers, you know?
I can't think of any I think the only thing that I was like, "Oh, damn," is when he got the box for his last the one that got away, Jane
Yeah.
Doe, and he was able to get the box to her. Is that what maybe? Because he got his, like,
Well, there's
landlord to deliver it, right?
no. So
Yeah,
there,
that ch
no, no, no. It wasn't his landlord. No, somebody came and picked up that box and said that it was his cousin. And he's
yeah,
like, "But I was ordered for compensation or whatever." And but like you never find out like who actually is that. And there's a copycat killer
mhm,
running around the entire time.
mhm,
And then during Anna's daughter's letters at one point, I think that that was the only time that he showed like a slight amount of empathy and was just like protective a bit. because she says, "What do you mean there is another? Like another son, or like you have a kid or something out there?" But I think he was referencing this copycat killer out there somehow communicating with him, right?
See, I thought when I read that letter from Anna, I thought he was saying, because she wrote the letter to him being like, "Hey, just to let you know, mom died." And then I thought he responded with, "I got another one." Because technically he, like, drove her insane and killed her.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
I got something else out of that because of the Jane Doe letters, right?
What about the J. Don't Yeah? What
She
about
was
them?
buried in the backyard, and then all the copycat killings stopped once he was executed, right? Because the entire
Yeah.
time there's copycat killings.
Right, and then they said that they don't know who buried her because she
That's
wanted
right.
that. She
Yeah,
wanted to be killed on the same day, but see,
yeah.
this book is
It's
disturbing.
crazy. That's
It is very
that's why I love it so much, because it is like a murder mystery, but you know one half of it already.
yeah,
But then it just keeps building and changing, and like that's why I really liked Judith's letters to him, because you would just see her changing over a period of time, and like she would respond back to him being like, "Why are you talking to me like this? Is crazy." So she would gaslight him too, right? A
yeah,
bunch, and
yeah,
then like eventually she cracks and doesn't, like
yeah.
it was a great book.
Yeah, because then, like, his father and his mother both dying with the purple satin in their hand. Like, what did that mean? Dude,
That's
we are going to have to do some internet sleuthing to find, like, Reddit forums on, like, what this book
Yes. Yes,
means.
and that's why I was like, does he like how is he communicating with this outside person?
Yeah,
Somebody is doing something, because both his mother and father, like you said, she had the purple satin on. At one point I was like, is he the actual purple satin killer? Like his father-in-law is the guy actually going around doing this stuff? Because at certain points they almost convince you that he's innocent, and that like he's actually not, like there it took me through like a bunch of stuff. Again, love this book. It was
yeah,
great. It was a
yeah.
great read.
Yes. Well, let's rate it then. What would you give
Okay,
it out of 5?
I give it 4.5 one-sided conversations out of 5. That's what
Yeah.
I'm giving it.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to give it 4.25 empty boxes buried in the backyard out of 5.
Oh,
And I love the look. I love the look of it.
I do love the look. I think it would have been way better if it was based in the 80s. I think that would have made this more of a fitting look to the book.
Right? That's the only thing is that I was like, 2006? What?
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's like, when we were running around in 2000 and we see stuff from the 80s and we're like, "Oh, it's so old." And,
Hmm.
like, I mean, it's 2024, so technically but, like,
Like, I
this
mean,
this
yeah.
is 80s vibes. This is not early aughts. Like, let's be
No.
real.
Should we tell the people what we're doing for the next month?
Next book we are going to read for January is going to be
The Dark Tower.
no, no. Salem's Lot, Stephen King. Are you excited? You like Stephen King?
I do like Stephen King. I think that you are a hater, and he's a American icon in horror and deep detail. And I'm excited because I actually have read all of the Dark Tower books, and there's a lot of connections in Salem's Lot to those books. A lot of,
Really?
yeah, they're those. We'll get into it. Well, I
Okay.
don't want to say, yeah, we're gonna ruin everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, until next episode, don't
yeah.
forget to like and oh, shit.
Ending on a strong note.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone.
Yeah.
And if you have any recommendations for books for next year, let us know in the
Just let
comments.
us know in the comments, please. Bye.
Bye.